children's book author, I visit a lot of schools. And when I talk to students about the fundamentals of stories, I often like to present this thought experiment. Would you rather read a story about the best birthday party ever or the worst birthday party ever? They always cheer for the worst birthday party ever, of course. Unless you're a kindergartner. They typically vote for hearing a story about the best birthday party ever. But they're confusing fiction with real life. I mean, in real life, we want everything to go wonderfully and without conflict. But in stories, misfortune is the heart of what makes the experience of reading interesting. Hi friends, it's your writing coach John Claude Bemis here to help you with generating amazing ideas for stories. Today, we're going to look at how to be mean to our characters. We're going to take a close look at conflict and stakes, and I'm going to teach you how to make a misfortune teller. Readers want to see things go wrong, and they want to see how the hero is going to get out of this scrape. A good question to ask when writing a scene is, how could this situation get worse? In real life, I hope you out there are all kind and generous people, but as writers, we need to be cruel. We need to make our characters suffer. We are the brutal and vengeful gods of our story worlds. I've got a simple tool to share with you that can help you to generate terrible problems for your characters. Something that can really make things worse in a wonderfully fun and interesting way. Remember making these as a kid? What did you call them? We called them cootie catchers, but most kids today call them fortune tellers. We're going to make one of these, but it's not going to be for nice things and good fortune. We're going to make a misfortune teller. If you've never played with a misfortune teller or just don't remember how they work, here are the basics. Start first with the misfortune teller closed. Pick a color, then spell out the color, moving the misfortune teller back and forth for each letter. When you reach the last letter, pick a number. Move the misfortune teller back and forth as you count. Then pick one more number and open the panel behind that number. Say you land on unfair accusation. Ooh, that's a bad one. Being accused of something you didn't do is so unfair. It gets readers angry. They want to see your character prove their innocence. But of course, that won't be easy. The first question to answer, however, is, what is the unfair accusation? This is why the misfortunes that I put inside are broad and general. It invites many possibilities. The unfair accusation needs to make sense for your character. What would be an accusation that would have strong emotional impact for your character? Who is the accuser? That person should also be important in terms of how they have influence or control over your character. Is your character accused of a crime or a betrayal? Of hurting someone they would never want to hurt, or someone they do despise, but would never actually harm, and now it looks like they did it? Or accused of something your hero clearly knows another character did, but doesn't have the evidence to prove their innocence? The sky's the limit. Brainstorm at least 6 possible situations that play out that misfortune. This activity will help you dream up new scenes and directions to take your plot and characters. I keep a misfortune teller on my desk, and I'll pull it out if a scene is starting to feel dull or I just need a jolt to my story. Plus, they're just fun to manipulate, to drive your imaginative process. Let's look at how to make a misfortune teller. A simple search on the internet will give you instructions for how to fold one, or you probably know a kid who could teach you. I put these spooky colors, dark, midnight, black, ink, as the 4 colors on the outside, but it really doesn't matter what colors you pick, as long as the number of letters are different. The real question is, what are the 8 general categories of misfortunes to put inside? When I do writing workshops with kids, they always want to simply have characters die. And the hero is killed. The end. But as the saying goes, there are things worse than death. So here are the 8 categories of misfortune I usually use. Mortal danger, of course, and also unfair accusation, but I also like relationship ruin, secret exposed, something crucial is lost, unexpected traitor, success snatched away, and dirty trick. These 8 open up lots of possibilities for me, depending on the character, the story, and the particular scene I'm writing. What other general categories of misfortunes can you think of? I'd suggest making a giant list of all the specific terrible things that could happen to characters, and then try to sort them into categories. It's a helpful exercise. If you're a teacher or writing instructor, it's a fun lesson to do with the class. If you think of some general categories of misfortunes you want to share, please put them in the comments below. It's a way to help other writers out there. The misfortune really needs to fit your story. If you're writing a sweet romance or comedy, then some incredibly dark misfortune might not work for the tone of what you're doing. You need to use your best judgment. But as you brainstorm ideas, don't dismiss something too quickly. That misfortune just might be a stepping stone to some fantastic and ingenious idea for your story. Many writers do a basic serviceable job of giving their characters problems and conflict, but they usually don't make the problems bad enough. They don't sufficiently raise the stakes. Or they confuse what would be the worst possible scenario in real life with what would be the worst thing to happen to our characters in our fictional universe. Think of how many stories have conflict around the end of the world. A meteor is going to destroy the planet. A villain plans to destroy all of mankind. Who cares? In real life, we'd never want that to happen, but when we're enjoying a story, the end of the world is often too abstract. All readers really care about is how that problem will affect the characters they love. Readers care first and foremost about our protagonists. Everything else is secondary. So if a meteor is hurtling towards Earth, readers don't care about your hero saving the planet. We care about your hero saving what they love. What specifically or who specifically is important to them? What will our beloved protagonists lose by this meteor obliterating Earth? The stakes need to be deeply personal, not abstract. It's always a good idea to step back and think, why will my reader care about this problem occurring? What consequences are my readers dreading? What are my readers desperately hoping will happen for my character? Build your story around those sorts of stakes, and your readers will be emotionally invested. I hope this video gives you new ideas for how to be more creative as you're being mean to your characters and giving them bigger problems to face. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll share this video with other writers and creatives that you know. Leave me a message in the comments below or on social media. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm John Claude Bemis. Want to know more about how I support writers through school visits, workshop presentations, and manuscript critiques? Then go check out my website, johnclaudebemis.com. Go dream the dream that only you could dream, and go write the story that only you could possibly write. See you next time.